Good morning, folks. Come on in, come on in. Pull up a chair closer to the fire. It's warmer over here. You know, I was peeling an orange this morning. That sharp, fresh citrus smell instantly transported me back to the 1950s. Looking back at our childhood, it feels like we lived in two different worlds simultaneously. One world was old, steeped in tradition, smelling of beeswax and simple joys, and the other world was shiny, new, and smelled of printer's ink and high hopes. Today, with the holidays approaching, I want to take you on a little journey. We're going to remember a time when magic wasn't measured in gigabytes, but by the weight of candy in a shoe and the thickness of a paper catalog. Let's remember December 6th, St. Nicholas Day. For many of us, especially those with European roots, this was the start of everything. This wasn't that jolly Santa from the Coca-Cola commercials. St. Nick was serious. He was a bishop, and he didn't care about your chimney. He was looking at your shoes. Do you remember the evening of December 5th? The anxiety? You couldn't just leave your dirty sneakers by the door. That would be an insult. You had to take your best leather shoes, and you had to work for it. I can still smell that shoe polish, that sharp, chemical scent of the paste in the little tin. My brother and I would sit on the linoleum floor in the kitchen, rubbing those shoes with old rags until our arms ached. My dad would say, "If they don't shine like a mirror, St. Nick is walking right past this house." We'd line them up like little soldiers by the front door. Empty, hungry leather mouths waiting to be fed. Sleeping that night was torture. The wind howled outside, and you lay there thinking, was I good enough? Did I talk back to Mom? Because we knew St. Nick didn't just bring treats. He brought justice. We were told, and we believed it, that if we were naughty, we wouldn't find candy in our shoe. We'd find a lump of coal, cold, dirty, black anthracite, or even worse, a switch. That fear kept us on the straight and narrow better than any modern parenting book ever could. But then came the morning, December 6th. You ran to the door, barefoot on the freezing floor, and there it was, the miracle. There was no bicycle or TV set. It was something simpler, but incredible, a giant, bright navel orange. In the middle of winter, amidst the gray slush, holding that orange fruit was like holding a little piece of the sun. It smelled exotic, and next to it, remember those mesh bags? Red netting filled with chocolate coins wrapped in gold foil. We smoothed out that foil and saved it like pirate treasure. These were simple things, walnuts you had to crack yourself, a ribbon candy. But the relief, you didn't get the coal. You were a good kid. But as time went on and Christmas got closer, the atmosphere shifted. Simplicity gave way to desire. Sometime in the fall, a different sound echoed on our porch, a heavy, dull thud. The Sears Christmas Wish Book had arrived. If the orange was about gratitude, this book was about dreaming. 600 pages of pure possibility. It was our internet, our Amazon. We didn't just browse it. We studied it. We had a system. You needed a red marker and a strategy. You couldn't circle everything or you'd get nothing. What were we dreaming of? Boys, remember 1964? That was the year G.I. Joe arrived. Don't you dare call him a doll. He was an action figure. He had a scar on his cheek, and he cost $4. Or the Lionel electric trains that puffed real smoke. I could stare at the illustration of that train for hours, building entire cities in my mind. And my sister? She was obsessed with the Easy Bake Oven, a plastic miracle that baked cakes using the heat of a regular light bulb, or Chatty Cathy, the doll that said, "I love you," when you pulled her string. We dog-eared the corners of those pages until they were worn thin. We left the catalog open to the right page, right where Dad liked to sit. And this is where the two stories come together. I remember waking up one night to get a glass of water. The house was dark, but the kitchen light was on. My dad was sitting there. The Sears Wish Book was open in front of him, but he wasn't looking at the toys. He had his wallet out and a pencil. He was looking at the prices. He was calculating overtime hours. You see, the orange in the shoe cost pennies, but the dreams in that book, they cost sweat and health. He knew the threat of coal was just a story for us, but for him, the threat of not being able to buy his son that train was real. He sat there under that dim yellow lamp, doing math at midnight, just so we could believe in the magic of Christmas morning. Today, packages arrive in one day. Kids eat strawberries in January. An orange isn't a miracle anymore, and the catalog is just an app on a phone. We gained convenience. But I think we lost the ritual. We lost the discipline of the polished shoe. We lost the conscience that the fear of coal gave us. And we lost the patience, those long months of waiting that made the gift a true treasure. When you finally got that train, you loved it, because you waited for it. Well now, enough nostalgia. Let's see if your memory is a little rusty or if it's sharp as a tack. I'm going to ask you 5 short questions about the story I just told. Are you ready? 1. On what date did we find gifts in our shoes? 2. What did the kitchen smell like when we cleaned our shoes? 3. What fruit was the main miracle in the shoe? 4. What were the chocolate coins wrapped in? 5. What did naughty kids get instead of candy? If you got all 5, I tip my hat to you. You're a true expert of the era. Folks, this year, maybe don't rush. Take your time. Remember the taste of that orange. And remember, it's not the price of the gift that matters, but the love of the person who counted pennies under a nightlight to make you happy. Subscribe to Storytime Brain Prime. It's like sending a postcard to an old friend. Tell me in the comments, did you ever actually find coal in your shoe? I read every single story. Take care of yourselves, and may the God bless your home with warmth. See you next time.